Hi, Sisterhood. I hope everybody is staying well and is in good spirits these past few months apart. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kristen Tang, and I live right here in the Triad. And my husband Cameron and I go to Holy Cross whenever we have the opportunity. Um, so today I will be introducing and interviewing Jackie Nikas. I hope I didn't
Mika.
screw up that
Yep,
pronunciation.
no worries.
Okay, she's from Winston-Salem, and I'll be giving you all a chance to learn about period poverty in our region and possibly consider donating to her GoFundMe. Jackie's just graduated from Atkins High School, and she is a member of Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church in Winston-Salem. So, Jackie, what are you up to these days? Life? How is everything?
Well, seeing as I just finished exams 2 weeks ago, it's been a relief. So is my sister. I'm off to Chapel Hill in the fall. I just found out we are going
Oh,
back,
that's
meeting in
exciting.
early August. Yep.
Cool. What will you be studying?
Political science with a minor in social and economic justice.
Ooh, that sounds really cool.
Yep.
As
I'm
a
excited.
fellow as a fellow humanities major, like raise the roof.
Of
All
course.
right. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about what inspired you to start your Tampons for Women in Winston GoFundMe?
Yeah. So I definitely knew I wanted to help women in the community, and being in different clubs at Atkins, one of which was women in STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And so people and women from around Winston, from all different fields, would come and talk to us, and a group of girls would discuss like how we could try to help the community and listen to women as they talk about how they advanced in their careers. And so that was like the beginning of just kind of being aware of like empowering other women
Yeah.
and how helpful that was.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, my dad owns a restaurant in downtown Winston, and you meet an array of people from all backgrounds, all walks of
Mm-hmm.
life, and some of which struggle financially and go
Yeah.
through pretty hard stuff. And then on a more personal note, it allowed me to navigate what I believe are fundamental Christian values of loving kindness, while
Yeah.
also staying true to core values of equality and respect for women across the globe. So merging those like deeply respected Orthodox beliefs with empowerment of women, and just finding a small way to help the community in any way I
Definitely.
could.
Yeah, just the smallest shred of dignity matters. Um,
Yeah.
I could not imagine being without the products I personally use. So, yeah. Okay, what are some statistics that you have come across regarding access to menstrual hygiene products for the underprivileged girls and women in the area that you serve?
Yeah, so it's definitely intersection. Like there's a lot of intersections around statistics. Like American women, through a gender lens, like 38% more likely to live in poverty than men.
Wow.
And then an estimation from a study from 2015 say that 25% of women in Winston live in poverty compared to 20% of men. And
Mm.
then one in every three children live in poverty.
Mm.
And so that's in our town. In
Right in
fact,
our
we rank,
backyard. Yeah.
and as much as Winston's a great town to live in, we rank pretty high in you know, in North Carolina and across the nation in poverty levels. And when you take those statistics and think about just like when I go to the store and I get pads or tampons,
Mm-hmm.
depending on how many how many are in a box and what brand, they can range
Mm-hmm.
anywhere from $5 to $12, even more if you're buying at Sam's or
Mm-hmm.
Costco. And then women cannot use like public benefits, food stamps to buy tampons or pads.
Mm.
They're not covered by health insurance or
Yeah.
Medicaid. And so a basic necessity that affects half the population, um, there's not regular access. For example, like public restrooms, we don't see free tampons or pads being offered in many places. Maybe in larger cities, but not here in Winston.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it doesn't just affect homeless women or anything like that. It also affects children. Nearly one in five American girls either have left school early or don't show up to school that day because they don't have access to those
Wow.
products. And there's not that much education about that. So it leads to a lot of shame and just, not really knowing how to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, oh, where she's been? Where has she been?
Yeah,
Sick. I mean, I guess sick, but sick.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So another thing, Holy Cross Sisterhood that Jackie does through this GoFundMe, she takes the funds and she purchases products to donate in kind to local shelters. It could be anything from pads to tampons to liners. I don't know if there's anything else that you've purchased. Um, which shelters have you given supplies to in the recent past?
So far, I've only done the Bethesda Center on Patterson Avenue.
Okay.
Um, I've called other places to find out, like what they need. Sometimes, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, my first question was, do women there prefer tampons or pads? Things
Hmm.
like that, like
Yeah.
things that I have the choice about myself. I didn't know, like, perhaps they have different situations, different preferences.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've heard from many shelters that it's about 50-50, and they run out so quickly. They're never not needing those products.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, when I call them, they're like, "Oh, we definitely need them,"
Mm-hmm.
every time.
Yeah. That's one thing that doesn't go away during a pandemic. That's for
Definitely.
sure. Yeah. So what are some of the best ways that women like us, or maybe not like us, but I guess most women viewing this, what are some ways that women with more means can empower our sisters who lack access to these products?
Yeah, that's a good question. I definitely think the first step would be education and awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Most people aren't aware of that, and that's not necessarily, their fault. It's just when you're going to purchase those things for yourself, you don't think about, oh wow, how many women don't have access to these
Right.
things.
Yeah.
So just and especially some people are surprised that it happens in the United States or like in
Mm-hmm.
our town so prevalently.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the first step in trying to just talk to others about the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, donating is super helpful,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to go, if you purchase in bulk and then you can bring them to the shelter, it's very simple. It's straightforward. You just hand them and they thank you. It's
No big
yeah,
deal.
it
Yeah.
doesn't take a lot of time at all.
Yeah.
Um, and then looking at some of the more like policy reasons as to why it's harder to obtain these products. Like for example, North Carolina um, deems tampons and pads as non-essential goods and are taxed
Mm.
around like 4.75%,
Wow.
because they're a luxury.
Mm.
And menstrual hygiene is not a privilege.
That's not a luxury.
it's not a privilege, it's a right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I wish it
And
were a privilege. Oh boy, I get
exactly.
to menstruate
Yeah.
today.
I mean, we
Yeah.
couldn't show up to work. We couldn't go to school.
Mm-mm.
Um, you know, you would be barred from jobs and things like
Yeah.
that. It's in no way
Yeah.
something you can't live with. You can live without. That's not true. And so, obviously, like big organizations, there have been like free to period, tax free period, specifically launched a campaign in 2019,
Hmm.
and they are now down to only a lot 30 states left that have not eliminated the tax, North Carolina being one of them.
Hmm.
And so if you have the time and the means, contacting representatives is
Mm-hmm.
actually really influential,
Yeah.
because not that many people are talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, locally, it would make a big deal to
Mm-hmm.
contact them as well. It's not something that, it's like you have a microphone and, making YouTube videos or something
Yeah.
goes
Yeah.
viral, like stuff like that. And that's something, that when you're struggling to meet, financial and difficult financial situation, food and shelter is going to be your main priority.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have the time or the resources to obtain those products, or call around or
Bigger
try.
fish to fry. Yep.
Yeah. And so if that's something that we can do, that is more helpful. Definitely.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, do you have any closing remarks for our viewers?
Well, I mean, I want to thank everyone for listening, and consider donating to Tampons for Women in Winston. I just, I take the money and I go purchase the products, and I'm trying to get to other shelters as well. And especially during this time
Mm-hmm.
of, a lot of there's been a lot of uh, people trying to help, and still somehow women who don't have access to period
Yeah.
products are still not being considered. And
Yeah.
so in times of literal like pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
it would be so like helpful, and just, I don't know, something that we could try to help in a small way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, Holy Cross Sisterhood, thank you for watching and listening to our discussion. If you would like to make a financial donation to Jackie's GoFundMe, you can do so at a provided link in a forthcoming email. So, God bless everyone.
Thank you.